Question 9.27. A cash budget by quarter is given below for a retail company. Company requires a minimum cash balance of $10,000 to start each quarter. For this exercise, assume that the interest rate is 0. And we're also going to assume that selling and administrative expenses are the same each quarter because that they're fixed each quarter. So the way this works, we've got a cash balance of $10,000. We're going to add collections from customers, and that's going to equal our total cash. So if we have $60,000 at the end of it, that means we've collected $50,000. Then we move to our disbursement section. And we've assumed that our selling and administrative is going to be the same each quarter, which gets us our total disbursements, which will be $90,000. If we have $60,000, we're going to disperse $90,000. That means we've got a $30,000 deficiency. Now, we need to borrow money to make up that difference. So we'd borrow $30,000 to get to 0, but we actually need to have $10,000 according to this question to start each quarter. So that means we need to borrow $40,000, which means our total financing is at $40,000. And then that informs our quarter 2 beginning. We are back to the beginning with $10,000. Now we don't know how much we have collected this quarter, but we know how much we did for the entire year. So 400 plus 120 is 520, plus 50 is 570, 640 minus 570 is 70,000, which will equal our total cash of 80,000. Now we paid some dividends, but we're not sure how much. But we know that we took out a loan. If we took out a loan, we're only doing that to reduce our shortfall in our cash. So if we took out $10,000, our loan is for 20. That means we had to have 10,000 plus pay off this deficiency, which we would know would be 10,000, because 10,000 is required to get to 0, and an additional 10,000 is required to get to the required mandatory balance. So that tells me that if we had 80,000 cash available, but we were 10,000 short of our mark, that means we had total disbursements of 90,000. So 40 plus 35 is 75, plus 12 is 87. That means we had dividends of 3,000. And it begins all over again on quarter 3. Cash at the beginning plus collected equals our total cash available. We had 97,000 in disbursements, so 17 plus 35 means we had 45,000 in inventory purchases. 130 less 97 means we actually had additional cash of 33,000. And we didn't do anything with our financing, we didn't pay anything back, and we didn't borrow any more, but so we finished with our 33,000, which will inform our quarter 4. We had 433,000. Says here that we had $45,000 of extra cash, and we know that this selling and administrative is always going to be $35,000. So we can either look at the difference of our dividends here, or take our total disbursements, which would be 300. If we had 433 and we had 45 left over, that means we would have dispersed 388. And if we have 90,000 here, that means we would have a dividend of 298,000. And if we chose to repay back 25,000 of our debt, 45 less 25 is $20,000 ending cash. So what does that look like for the year? Remember, they're not all added up. We started with 10,000. We collected 640, which gives us 650 cash. Our total cash here, so we had 310, 588, 632 in total disbursements, which leaves us at 18,000. And it looks like there's a small error here. Oh, 60,000. No, maybe not. Let's see. So 78 minus, so this is 35,000 financing. Yeah, we got a small discrepancy. So there's an error here on the question, but we know that the first 4 quarters are good. I'll have to fix that error at another time. So yeah, we've got a small discrepancy of $33,000. But for this question, I think quarter 1 through 4 is what really matters.
Do we also have that in the final?
You know what? Maybe my disbursements is wrong. 170 plus 140 is 310. 310. 354 plus 278 is.
632.
It is correct. All good. We know our first 4 quarters are right, and that's what we're going to go with today.